Hey, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the Bill Anderson Sports Show. I'm Bill Anderson, and decided to come on here. I was going to come on here yesterday and talk about Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson and the struggles that are going on early on in Denver. But I am a fan of the Colin Cowherd Show, and I know Colin loves Russell Wilson, and today he had Greg Cossell on, and I kind of wanted to hear because I know Colin was going to ask him about it, and so I wanted to hear what Greg Cossell was going to have to say about Russell, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But I've been watching things, and almost everything that I see, everything is on Nathaniel Hackett, right? And deservedly so. His in-game coaching, I don't know how you get a whole lot worse than that, right? Doesn't know about timeouts. Like, it's just everything that you watch, you're just like, what is going on here? Like, now in Green Bay, as you know, I'm a Packer fan, and in Green Bay, Matt LaFleur calls the plays. So now I know that Nathaniel Hackett probably had some influence in designing some of the plays and working to scheme guys open here in Green Bay over the last couple of years. Aaron Rodgers speaks glowingly of him. Now, Collinsworth the other night during the Packer-Bear game started to talk about Nathaniel Hackett and basically about him and Aaron Rodgers, and it kind of boiled it down to, boy, Aaron really likes to have a beer with the guy, like here kind of thought maybe we were gonna hear something about him, and maybe Hackett would get somebody talk say something positive about him, because there hasn't been anything positive to say about his head coaching there in Denver, but that didn't happen. So I'm sure he worked with the offense. I'm sure he was part of coming up with some schemes, but he wasn't play calling. He didn't have any of that in-game responsibility to make snap decisions, right? And it's kind of showing on game days with the Denver Broncos. But my thoughts are, is it all him, right? So week one, you have timeouts, the clock's running, and Russell Wilson, they had time on the clock. All he needs to do is call timeout, and everybody just killed Hackett. Now, yeah, Hackett's the head coach. Hackett should have called a timeout, but isn't Russell Wilson been in the league for a decade? Can Russell Wilson not call a timeout? Russell Wilson has had everybody's making excuses for Russ, or a lot of people are. I'm sure some people are criticizing him. He sure has some critics, but the shows in that I watch, it's all Hackett and Russ is Russ. Well, Russell's just in a bad coaching situation again, and blah 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 blah. Well, I looked up some numbers. Okay. Between the top 20s, Russell Wilson is throwing 63.6%. He's got 2 touchdowns and a pick. Okay. In the red zone, it drops to 44.4%, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. 44% in the red zone is not going to get it done. Just isn't. Now I know in that opening week in Seattle, they got down to the goal line and 2 drives, 2 running plays. The ball was fumbled and Seattle recovered, and they just couldn't get it done. But I just wanted to make some comparisons just within his division. In his division, Mahomes is 72.2% in the red zone with 6 touchdowns and 0 picks. All right. Herbert is 61.5% 5 touchdowns and a pick. And then the last place Raiders, Derek Carr, he's only 5 or 13, 38.5%, but he's got 4 touchdowns. So like there's some production, coming in the red zone. But you can kind of see a correlation. Russell Wilson barely gets by Houston, right? They barely get by Houston. He's got 44.4% completion percentage in the red zone. Aren't you paying Russell Wilson like $40 million a year, Denver? $40 million a year for 44% in the red zone. Poof. Now, I don't blame you. I'd have went out and got him too. But if we think back a few years, one of the things that Russell Wilson did really well was he avoided pressure. Like the guy, you couldn't get him. He was running all over the place, making plays. He doesn't do that anymore. You don't see him doing that. You don't see him running around, making time, he's not that guy anymore. He still moves the ball like crazy between the 20s. And maybe, I'll give you maybe first year in the new system, didn't play any preseason games, still trying to learn the offense. I heard Greg Cossell say that most coaches will say any quarterback needs 3 years to get the offense down. But I'll say Russell Wilson, a lot of us, I think so, is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think you expect a Hall of Fame quarterback, and you're going to pay him $40 million a season, is going to pick up on this a little bit faster. But 44.4% in the red zone ain't going to get it done, and Russ has to be better. And Russ can be better, but sometimes I wonder, does Russ not move around like he used to because he can't? Or does he not do it because he doesn't want to get hurt? Or, that was one of the things that just made him so dynamic. And if you take that away from his game, he's a short pocket passer. And a lot of times you need to get Russ outside of the pocket so he can see where he's going with the ball. Anyway, so I listened to Colin today, Colin Cowherd on the Herd on Fox FS1, and Greg Cossell, they did talk about it. Greg he says, the tape is showing that Russell's not seeing things well. He's not seeing them quick enough. He's not playing within. He just doesn't seem to be in time, and there's no rhythm to the passing game. People that have watched Cossell and have been watching football for a long time know it's kind of a rhythm timing game. Right? So, is he not seeing things well because he's learning the offense, or has he lost something? I hope not, because I love watching that guy play quarterback. Watching that guy play quarterback has given us, except for when he's played the Packers, I hated watching him play then. But, man, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. The last couple of years, you could say, Pete and they haven't drafted well, and they didn't have the team around him, and he's working with nothing. Okay, you could say that. Or, is it now in Denver where he's got weapons? The defense is carrying him. If it wasn't for that defense, they'd probably be 0-2. So, those are just my thoughts. Hey, like, subscribe to my page, comment on it. Tell me if you think that I'm wrong in my assessment of Russell Wilson. Tell me what you think. I really like to hear it. And let's see if we can get some debate going, Thanks, guys. I hope you're having a good day. By the way, tonight, Thursday Night Football, don't forget it's on Amazon. Check it out. Have a good week. Bye.